Hello everyone, my name is Azatru, how are you, and welcome to another Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what the next generation of consoles means for the future of Battlefront 2. Will DICE stop working on Battlefront 2? Will they make a PS5 version? Or even, will Battlefront 2 get exclusive content on the next consoles? There are a lot of questions and speculation about what will happen to this game with the new consoles, and I thought I would give a clear and realistic talk on the matter. It is important to understand no official information from DICE or EA has been released at the time of this video going live. Having said that, I can give some possible outcomes based on DICE's commitment to Battlefront, what has happened to other games, and more. So, let's get straight to it. At the end of this year, most likely in November, Xbox and PlayStation will release their next generation consoles. They will bring powerful hardware that will allow developers to push games further in many different ways, but current gen games will also see an improvement. Before I get into the nitty-gritty details, I want to squash one piece of speculation. Battlefront 3 is not coming in the near future. DICE and EA have reiterated multiple times in the last year they are fully committed to Battlefront 2 in the long term, and Battlefront 3 development is not underway. If Battlefront 3 were to be coming in 2021, for example, DICE would be working on it now, and there would be a slowdown in content for Battlefront 2. But that isn't happening, it's not the case. The Star Wars team at DICE are focused purely on Battlefront 2 and won't be making a sequel anytime soon unless there is an unlikely, dramatic turn of events. Given the recent explosion in players and copies sold, it is against EA's financial and personal interests to make a new game that would cannibalise Battlefront 2's player base and cost them money to produce. This seems to mean Battlefront 2 will still be getting content when a new generation of consoles arrives. But how will it affect the new console owners and current gen players? Will there be improvements? Let me break it down. The next Xbox is confirmed to have backwards compatibility, meaning you can play Battlefront 2 on the next Xbox without fail. You just put the disc in or download it and you can play it seamlessly. PS5 is rumoured to also have backwards compatibility, but it is not confirmed, nor has the possible restrictions to it. However, it is likely PS4 games will work on the PS5 just like the next Xbox. You will not have to buy the game again, and PS4 players will play with PS5 players, and that goes for Xbox too. It is the same game. If this is the case, DICE will not be making a PS5 or Xbox Series specific version of Battlefront 2. However, DICE could do a few things to take advantage of the new hardware. The game on launch of these consoles will probably run the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X improvements, which include better graphics and a resolution up to 4K. The frame rate on the mid-gen consoles is better than the base models. Despite that, the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro can make this game drop below 60 FPS odd times, but with the new console hardware, the game should naturally not drop any of those few frames, meaning a constant 60 FPS. This is something that the mid-gen consoles did to Xbox One and PS4 titles, and nothing is expected to change here. Another day one improvement would be made to loading times. The NVMe SSD in the new consoles is blazing fast, so loading will just take a few seconds. What DICE could do is release a patch which furthers the visuals and performance even more. The PlayStation could finally get a 4K upgrade up from 1440p on the PS4 Pro, plus a high frame rate option could also be added to both consoles. Microsoft and Sony have said the new consoles will offer up to 120 FPS and a variable refresh rate as options. We probably will not hear about any of this until the launch of the new consoles, but I believe DICE would do a patch as they really like to push the boundaries of the tech. The next segment in this video is likely to cause controversy, but I'm only going to be telling you the truth with facts. It is okay to have an opinion, but this is going to contain some realism. DICE have two choices: to keep updating the game for current and next-gen consoles, but be restricted, or ditch making major leaps in development for current-gen and just do next-gen. DICE may go down a path you can't follow, but there are a lot of valid reasons for the decision they choose. Here are the main pros and cons to each side of this argument. The current gen has a huge player base, and not everyone will be getting a new console in the first year or so. So if DICE were to stop supporting it, there would be a big drop in players until more switch over. The player base would also be split if certain modes or maps were introduced just on new consoles. I think DICE would avoid this as much as possible though. These are the main reasons for DICE to support Battlefront 2 on Xbox One and PS4 for a long time despite new consoles. In contrast to that, having to fix bugs, support, test and create for 2 extra platforms brings a lot of risks. It means there will be a bigger margin of error and things DICE have to handle. Battlefield 4 released on 4 consoles plus PC, and look how that turned out. DICE and EA do not want to repeat any of its past issues. Also, the new consoles would allow DICE to expand the game in different ways because of the better processor, more RAM, and other specs. For example, instant action is limited to 12 bots per team due to the limitations of the PS4 and Xbox One, but on PC you can have up to 32 versus 32. This is a setting that's already in-game. Think of the possibilities DICE could do if they have that extra RAM to use and a more capable processor. DICE could even have the dev kits of the new consoles already and be looking at what potential they could do. The truth is, the consoles will be 7 years old and are outdated. It is not DICE's fault Sony and Microsoft released the underpowered Xbox One and PS4 in 2013. On the PC side of things, nothing would change given it will always be the most versatile and capable version of the game. I can't see DICE stopping current gen support in 2020, but certainly in 2021 it is a big possibility. Some may argue DICE should just make the equal amount of content for both in terms of heroes and planets, and only just add the more demanding stuff on the new consoles, but people would still be upset and it would still split the player base to an extent. DICE are in a tough spot and cannot please everybody. EA and DICE would not be alone in making this decision either. Other developers will face it too, and it has happened before with the last generation of consoles. And here is a bit of a success story. It's not quite an apple-to-apple comparison, but it is something to keep in mind. GTA 5 released before the new consoles by just a few months. Rockstar stopped supporting the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions of the game because how limiting they were. They then released a new version of GTA 5 on Xbox One and PS4, which was better in every way. And still, 6 years later, they update the game with new content. The stuff they released since ditching the Xbox 360 and PS3 was only possible on the newer consoles. These updates have kept the game alive for several years now, plus an increased player count year on year. This is just the nature of technology getting better and others getting older. As for my own opinions, I think DICE should stop supporting the current gen consoles early to mid 2021. As much as I'd like everyone to keep getting content for Battlefront 2, having DICE bound to limitations and more room for bugs and stuff is not the way forward in the long term. Having a long-lasting game that can be expanded upon would be fantastic. This is the way. Remember, until DICE and EA confirm anything, there is no confirmation as to what they will be doing for the new consoles. Also, don't expect DICE to speak out on this topic until the end of the year. Finally, it is okay to have an opinion, but don't attack others in the community who share different views to you. That is not the way. As soon as there are any updates to this topic from EA and DICE, I will make a video, but that is all on the topic for now. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something new, And if you did, be sure to drop a like, plus subscribe and turn notifications on for more Star Wars Battlefront 2 videos. Be sure to let me know your thoughts on everything I've discussed in this video, and be sure to check out any of the 2 previous videos on screen if you did miss them, and I shall see you in my next Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. Goodbye.